Alright, back in the shop. Finally got the old bitch pulled in with the seat off. Took this off. There's some grease and grime and some shavings down in there, so I'll have to clean this all out after a while. We're not gonna do that right now. Soak these in penetrating oil. Soak this in penetrating oil. Try to get the steering wheel off. I already tried pulling on it with a puller. We'll try here again in a minute and see if I can get it off. Kind of sucks because it's all plastic down here, so you can't really get a good pull on it. I was hoping to save that steering wheel because it's kind of new. It's in pretty good shape, but I may have to cut it apart to get it off. Then when I do that, I'll excuse me, I'll take this off in the tank, and that'll give me good access to the transmission. And it shouldn't be too bad after that, I don't think. Got the cart with the tools and parts, and here we go, I guess. Probably not going to take a time lapse of this. Time lapse kind of ended up being really long, and I don't think anyone really likes them that much, so I did get these at Summit the other day. I was in there with a buddy getting a 69 piece screwdriver set. $20. So I walked in the door, thought it'd be a good set for in here for when I want to hit them with a hammer and break them in half. They seemed like a pretty affordable set, so I'm not affiliated or sponsored by Summit. Just happened to be in there the other day and looked like a pretty good deal for some screwdrivers. So, all right, we'll be back with more updates. Okay, here we are again. We've got some more stuff torn off it. We got the transmission fluid and the rear end fluid, which is the same fluid, drained out of them. I said earlier, when I pulled this cover off, it had, this is where the differential basically starts. So here to the back end is all differential fluid. It all circulates through the whole rear end. The transmission is from here to the back of the motor. I was kind of unsure with that because the way it was built and how much fluid I couldn't see for sure. But it has about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of sludge on the bottom down here when I pulled this off. And I think what it is it's brake material from the brakes. The brakes still work on this, so like I said, I'm gonna wash it out best I can, put new fluid in it and run it, because like I said, I don't want to rebuild this, restore this 100%. I want to get some work out of it. So I got the steering column off. The steering wheel came off. Soaking it overnight helped, and then I was able to put, I couldn't get it with a puller because the wheel's plastic, but I was able to get it with a pneumatic hammer, like a chisel. And here it is. I was able to get it with this bad boy and a bit, and it just rattled it right off pretty nicely. Tank's off. I'm going to put a new valve on it because this valve is leaking. The dash was a little tricky. There's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and then on the column, well, you obviously have to remove your shifter and your steering wheel and your throttle. And after that's all done, then there's 2 bolts here on the steering column. There's actually some on the side I think you might be able to get off, but I couldn't get to these 4 very easily, so I just took these off and it slid off just fine. All of this I'm going to rewire. I've got new lights on it, switches and breakers. So I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to do that. I'll set it up on the bench at a later date. Here's the steering column. Oops. You can see where the tank connects there. This is where the dash connects. I found it easier to take the linkage off of the steering with a ball joint remover than to do it off the actual gearbox, because I couldn't get that. I tried for a little bit and I said fuck it, it's pretty well on there. So today, I'm hoping to go ahead and get the rest of the way broke in half. I've had these soaking for a while, so I'm gonna, let's see, there we go. I'm gonna take, yeah, come on camera. I'm gonna put jack stands under it, under the rear. Take these bolts out and these bolts. I'll have to jack stand under the motor. Well, actually, no, I don't think I'll have to jack stand under the motor. Just the front side of the transmission with the floor jack probably. And that's what we'll try for. See if I can get it split today. I think I've got everything off I need off. So there's that freeze plug I was talking about. This one, I think it's this one. I was seeing a little bit of weeping coming out of here, so I'm gonna replace that one because I don't think I can do it without pulling the tank. And the tank's already off. So, yep, that's where we're at. So hopefully I'll have this split not too long. Kind of fucked up doing this right before Christmas because it'll probably be January before I can send that torque converter in, because I'm betting everyone's gonna be closed all the way till January 2nd or 3rd. So, but I'm not putting it back together until this torque converter goes to a shop and it's good or rebuilt or replaced, whatever it needs. I don't think it's bad, but this is a fair bit of work, and 20 gallons of hydraulic fluid later, I'd like to have some guarantees. So we'll fix those axles, these brake seals, and go from there. Alright, I'm all out of breath from fucking with this thing. We've got this, hold on, is the camera fucking dirty? A little bit. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, we got it apart. Whew, wasn't too bad. Been a lot easier with two people, but just me, myself, and I today. Fluid out. I'm gonna have my brother help me drain this into some buckets so we can take it up to the auto parts store. And there's where those used to mount, up over there. Wasn't too bad, pretty straightforward. I forgot about this because I'm a dumbass. It's a torque converter. It has these bolts all the way through it, around the outside. I ended up pulling the starter out, which I don't think you need to. It was nice because I was able to put a screwdriver in there and hold the flywheel from spinning. And you can see these markings. This is somebody else. I didn't do this. So the hour meter on this tractor stopped at like 5,000 or 6,000 hours, and it's been like that ever since we've had it. So I would estimate this tractor's probably got 10 or 12,000 hours on it, will be my guess. But like I said, the hour meter's been trashed for God knows how long. But yeah, it's just these. So I was able to take these out through where the steering column bolts on. Just get in there, bust it loose with the breaker bar, and then I used the drill just to zip them out real fast. And then I'd go over to that starter hole and I'd turn it. I was able to turn it, which makes me wonder if this compression on this tractor's low as shit, because I don't think you should be able to turn it this easily. So, it starts and runs fine, but I'm not rebuilding this motor right now. Get it running, move on, try again another day. So it's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Looks like 8 bolts that hold it together. And honestly, I think it would have come out without it. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. So I just did that. It came out with it in the transmission side. So here's what insides look like. There's the pump. Pump still feels tight and everything, so I'm not sure. I'm just gonna fucking replace it and be done. I may come get this with the big other tractor and take it outside and wash it real good. What else? The shifting column has to be out to clear these lines and to get the bolts out, in case anyone's wondering why I pulled the shifter column off. The brake, it still has good brakes. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't move the damn thing. Well, the brakes, without the springs that sits on the brakes and it locks them up. So it took me a minute to figure that out. It's just, looks like, I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, no, hold on. 2, 4, 5, it looks like 6 bolts, I believe, held it on. And then there was a small bolt on that cover right down there. Those right here you have to remove as well. And after that, it split pretty easily. These had to go way down. I thought I was gonna put jack stands under them. I had to go way further than I thought. I released the jack to let the motor down and they didn't go at all. And I realized the bucket was counterbalancing it, so it hit the hydraulics and it came right on down. So I think that's all I got to report right now. I'll probably spend the rest of my time cleaning and organizing, and then we'll pull the pump out. I don't know if I'm gonna do that today or maybe tomorrow. I gotta figure out how I want to clean this. These bolts, these plates, they go on top of here and there. And then there's the U-bolts that go on them. I'll clean these up, reuse them. But these other ones, there's some funky shit here. Like, I don't know why that's got a double nut on there and these other ones don't. So I'll replace these. They're cheap enough at the store and I'm already there. Polish all these up and clean them. Painting a little bit of paint, help keep them from rusting. But I think that's it. I'll find a shop, take that torque converter to, and have them make sure it's good, and then go from there. Okay, more updates. We've got the rear end completely taken out. It's, I can't really see. Let's go walk over here. Oh, horse. What the hell's wrong with your blanket? There you go, you're welcome. Rear end's over there. It's gonna power wash it out, clean it real good. But damn near threw my back out trying to get the power washer started, and then the motor decided to shit the bed. So there's the motor. So I ended up, got lucky, had a 5-horse electric motor with the same size shaft and RPM I needed. Was able to reverse the rotation. Lucky again. Hooked it up last night and it ran. Went to the store to get some parts. I was gonna put a switch on it, but my dumbass got the wrong switch for it, so I'm just gonna wire nut it on, power wash this off. I'll get the switch later. But and we'll actually have to lean this over when we run it. These motor's not really made to be ran in the vertical position, but now maybe I can finish what I started last night. So we're gonna power wash that off, get it cleaned off outside. We'll do some housekeeping in the shop. Torque converter. I called the shop the other day. He said he can work on those, so I'll send that in, get that checked out, and I will do a video of me pulling the guts out of the transmission, mainly for me, so I can remember where the fuck everything went, and it also may help someone else that has one of these similar Ford or New Holland tractors. So it looks like I won't power wash all this out first, but it looks like there's them bolts out on the outside. Here we go. And I believe I take that shifting cable off over here, and I think the motherfucker just comes right out. Oops. So we'll see soon enough. But like I said, first let's get this bitch washed off so I don't have to swim through grease. And I'll be back hopefully with a working power washer. Okay, now that I've wasted about 4 hours of my life last night fucking with the power washer, and 3/4 of a day today fucking with the power washer, I have now successfully power washed what I thought to power wash last night. So it's all cleaned up fairly decent. At least it's not as bad as it was, so I can live with that. Do another money shot of the power washer. So I ripped the gas motor off, threw it away because it locked up on me. I've been wanting an electric pressure washer for quite a while. It's one less gas motor to have to fuck with. They're quieter. And honestly, I only really pressure wash shit around the shop. So, and I have enough cord to get right at the end of the shop. I actually have about 300 foot of 220 cord I can use. So this works a lot better for me. The only downside is, I didn't realize this till Buddy told me, but that motor is not actually made to be ran vertically. It'll actually eat the bearings out of it fairly quick. So, but I mean, that's kind of easy fix. I just lop the card on its side like that, and it'll last as long as it does, and it'll burn up or it won't. Either way, we don't put a lot of hours on these, and I'm very, very meticulous about making sure if I'm not spraying, I turn it off. So it doesn't sit here and idle for 20 minutes at a time. The longest I normally let this thing idle is maybe a minute and a half. So, like I said, we'll run it till it doesn't run and make a new plan. But I'm kind of happy with that. And I also have a 220 generator I use for mobile welding. So like if I needed to use this out at the house or someplace that didn't have good 220 power, I could easily just tag my generator along. So I'll let this dry out. I'm contemplating pulling this off and spraying all that shit out of there and letting it drain out, but I don't know, can't quite decide what I want to do, because I really don't want to get the insides wet with water and let them start rusting. So it probably won't hurt anything, but I don't know. So I'll look in here again. I may just wash it out with some diesel and spray it out and let it be what it's going to be. I didn't feel any big metal chunks or anything. Most of it, like I said, was an organic matter. I'm about 90% sure it's the brakes. That's what it felt like. So we'll let that be and fix the actual problem at hand, which is damn transmission, and then all the other problems that pop up after I fix that. All right, working on this backhoe a little bit, and actually I got to seeing one of these bolts was loose right here. Well, I thought it was loose. I went and grabbed it and it sheared off. So it looks like rust and fatigue probably got this one. So I'll pull the other one out, fish that bolt out. We got all this apart. This line's reconnected, keep it from leaking. But you can see this beam right here comes here. It's got a flat plate right here and a little bracket. That's what holds the hoe on. It comes up here and it just connects to the front. Where those two bolts, I can't see from the angle. But anyways, I'll remove the other bolt. I should be able to pull that whole arm up out of there. No big deal. Alrighty. Got this bad boy pulled off. Wasn't too bad with the chain hoist. And I actually found out these hoses come down through here that feed the back. It looks like they were originally mounted on tabs, and the tabs broke off, which makes a lot more sense than letting them just drag up under the tractor the way they were. So I'm gonna have to put the beam back on to see if I can put the hoses on top or if they go on the bottom. And then I was planning on mounting these 1/2 inch thick brackets, welding them, grinding this off and welding them on there and there. And I may tap and thread holes through it so I can put a piece on the top to hold them real tight. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, we'll see here in a minute. Okay, Got the new tabs welded on. Let's see. Got the hole drilled. 3/8 tapped. Both of them. Not in the center, but a little offside up because of the way the hoses fit. Didn't do this the way I would do it on a car or anything like that. Normally, I would fit all this in place. Make sure it absolutely, without a doubt, shadow of doubt, fits perfect. These, I kind of went where they originally were. Eyeballed them a little bit and threw them on. If they don't work, one of them's a rubber hose, and I can put that literally, well, that one probably not because it's so old it's crusty, but I can put that pretty much when I replace it wherever the hell I want. The other one, if I need to tweak it, I'll just bend it a little bit, but I'm betting money for what this is and the purpose it serves, it'll be better than it was by a million times. I mean, it was literally just hanging down there, dragging, and we probably bought it, my granddad probably bought it like that, honestly. So it's been probably 20 years of riding the way it was. So let's hope my welds are better than Ford's. I went with thicker steel. It looked like they had a 1/4 inch tab welded on there. That's 1/2 inch, a little bit wider, and I welded all the way around. Ford didn't do that. And honestly, that's not their first weld. I think if you see my other videos, there's some same thing here. And it wasn't the tab that broke, it was the weld. It just didn't have enough heat. It didn't penetrate that tab enough, and it just broke off. Probably got snagged on something under the tractor. So that fixed that. These will cool down. I'll clean them up and spray some paint on them. Probably something that doesn't match. I've got to go dig the other side of this side of the block. It's not a blind hole, so it should come out fairly easily, hopefully. Drill it through with some left-handed bits, and normally left-handed bits break some loose, but if that doesn't break them loose, I'll come and put a easy out, straight fluted easy out in there and turn it out. And if that doesn't work, I'll drill it out bigger. And if that doesn't work, then we'll just keep going through the process until the fucker comes out. But it looks like I'm gonna have to get 2 new bolts for that side and that side. Since that one broke off, I can assume these are shit. So this is where we lay. I'm probably not gonna do much else. It's 2 days before Christmas, so I'm probably just gonna go hang out with the family for a little while and get back to this after Christmas. All right, guys, take care.